Hello everyone, and peace of Christ all of you. Today we are going to discuss some of comments mentioned by atheists, by Christians, by the scientist. I will start with the comment made by a Christian, supposedly. There's only one thing always I want people to notice. There's people, they go to school, and there's people who earn degree, but they earn, and I'm not insulting the person, by the way, but this is the way I talk. I hope he understand. I'm not trying to insult you. I do not know you. This is the way I express myself. So there's people who earn degree, and they think when they earn a degree, they are educated. And there's people who never have a degree, but they use a gift. It's called the brain. Many don't even think about this brain for a second. They don't want to use it. And I will give you an example. So we go to school and we start learning, and then in school they teach us things. And those things, they stay with us for the rest of our life. Okay. Here we have Mr. or I don't know if it's a lady or a gentleman, doesn't matter really. Says, I'm a Christian here. I like your video arguing against Islam, and you seem very well educated, but you not seem very well versed in biology. Okay. Since you mispresent evolution here, you should read up upon it. It's science. It's very interesting. Although your demonstration is very funny, I have to admit. I have to admit too. I don't see why evolution should contradict Christianity. The stories in Genesis, in my opinion, should not be taken literally, but that's a whole other discussion. Okay, go into discussion now. Let us see how I don't know and how I am mispresenting whatever. A theory is not hypothesis. Okay, it's something you make up to explain things. Okay, without having any proof. A theory is backed up with evidence. Either is I know, like my English is very funny, I know, but how you say it's backed up with evidence and you call it theory? I advise you to read your words, or if you are a person who talk, some people, they should say their words in their head before they say them, because you will sound silly. How it's a theory and it's backed up with evidence? The second you reach the point of evidence, it's not a theory no more. As an example, I'm not a doctor in biology, but I have a degree in law. I'm qualified to work as a lawyer or a judge. And somebody provide me evidence. And the evidence is, let's say the guy, he confessed that he killed the guy. Is that a theory that he killed the guy anymore, or it's a fact now? For sure, in science, the story is different, but evidence is evidence. I cannot say there is evidence unless it is evidence. I cannot even call it evidence as long it is not. So as long it's proven, as long it's 100% true, then we can call it evidence. So look what you just said. A theory is backed up with evidence. Does this mean that there is evidence that is 100% true? So, okay, you are telling me I mispresent, and I don't understand. And now you are telling me that your scientists, the one you are supporting their theory, they present evidence which is not 100% true. What does that mean? It means it's full of lies, it's full of mistakes. Or it's me maybe because you are, let us say you are not educated and somebody can fool you, and that will make it like sound to be true. It's like a smart being speaking to a uneducated being, and the smart being was able to provide evidence which fit with the little brain of the little being. Too much bean here, huh? I hope that will not cause gas. So I wish sometime people, they read what they say, because what they say is extremely silly. And then he said, no, scientific method and our recitation are flawed, okay, but it's the best we have to explain something. At the moment you use those scientific method too, okay. When you show the inconsistency of in the Quran, for an example, okay, can you show me the consistency in the theory of Darwin? If there's any, you see, when somebody says there's evidence, if there's any evidence that a monkey he improved himself, he became a human, you see, later he started talking about the improvement of organs. Read carefully with me. Here he says, second, evolution improves organisms. Excuse my English. You should not orgasm. No organism, not orgasm. Be careful. Okay. So anyway, so like this is the theory. It's the you improve. Okay. So let's see. We as a human, we have heart problem. We have heart attack, and the heart attack usually happen either by a clot in the blood, or even sometimes the brain send a message to shut down the heart. You know, like when the brain feel like the body in a trouble, and there is a certain let us say message is coming to the brain give the heart an order to shut down in order to prevent something from happening. But this is a kind of causing death. It's not really helping the heart, it's not helping the human, it is causing death to the human being. So how a human being, after all the improvement, he went through billions of years, according to you, and you claim to be Christian, he reached the point that he killed himself. Do you have any idea? Because remember, you are a Darwinism Christian, supposedly, which is very funny, and this is totally against the Bible, and I will show you how ignorant you are about the Bible too. Because what is the improve? After a billion of years, according to you and Mr. Darwin, a human being, he cannot fight bacteria. He failed. He failed miserably. You need to, look for medicine, and this medicine, it failed too. I mean, the bacteria is always way ahead of us, and they come with a new solution against your solution. And your solution is not your body. Usually your body is not really functioning the perfect way to fight otherwise nobody will die. So the improvement you are talking about is a false theory, because there is no improvement. And a human being used to die by heart attack thousands of years ago, and he died by heart attack thousands of years after. And he will die in a heart attack millions of years after. Nothing will change. Or brain attack, or whatever. There's a million reasons to die. One of them is your mother-in-law. So the improvement theory is not true. I can say there is, remember in the last video I said, if a person who live in the mountains, because the mountains, let us say high mountains, not just a normal mountain, a very high top mountain, his body adopt certain kind of oxygen, which means if you move to the mountain area, in the beginning, you will not feel comfortable when you breathe. Why? Because your lung is able to collect the oxygen which is needed in whatever air the lung is getting from outside. But when you are in the mountains, your lung have to work harder, have to bring more air. So I can say I accept this, but I don't accept that the lung used to be something, or let us say improve itself by being something else. What Darwinism is about, that there is selective of nature, and there is this nature is going to kill the species which is not improved, or let us say lacking improvement, and the one it's improved itself will survive. But this is absolutely false, because the same species is still there. Even the one, there's animals, they are dead. There's no reason for them. As an example, there is many animals distinct because we kill them, which means there's a predator. Human being is a predator for those animals. But there is some kind of creatures, we kill them every day, like cockroaches. But they are victorious. Why? Because the way they are made, they have a very high number of breathing, and they can resist heat. They can resist even you burn the whole house to get rid of the cockroaches, and you will find them still under the dust. So, but they did not improve themselves. This is how they are. A cockroach was a cockroach. He was not a duck. The way his system is built, I do not need improvement. He can survive even a nuclear war. We cannot. So the theory of this idiot, Darwin, and sadly to see that you are a Christian and you believe in such a stupid thing. Because if you know the Bible very well, you should know that according to the Bible, people used to live for a long, long time. Hundreds of years. So the theory of improvement, it's working in the opposite direction. When somebody used to live for 800 years or 900 years, and now we live for 60, after all, like the care we have, and doctors and hospitals and x-ray and machines and computers and vaccine and blah, 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 and then people die. So before, people used to stay younger and live longer. So if a person, according to the Bible, he lived for 600 years, that means when he was, let us say, 300 years, he's like 30 for us. So what is the improvement? Now, either you believe in the Bible or you say, I don't believe in the Bible. So don't mix the stupidity, which you call it science, with non-science, which is nonsense. You see, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a professor in biology, as you said to me in the comment. You said you have a lack of education in biology. You do not know biology, Well, I have a limited knowledge in many things. And I have an extreme knowledge in some stuff. But I'm not required to be a professor in biology to know that this is a stupid idea. Because no one has control of his body. And you are an example. Can you fix yourself? Can you how your body will give an order to itself? I mean, what is the brain in the body? Do you know what is the brain? So let us say that the brain does not exist. The first cell is the brain. But as long as the cell, each one of them have a specialty. So how the cell, which is specialized in something, as an example, we have white cell in the blood and we have red cells. Can the white cell improve itself and its defense by figuring out that in the future there's a a virus will be called cuckoo and prepare for that? No. The virus have to come first, and then have to go and fight with it, and then whatever mechanism it's already she have of this cell, the white cell, she will use. So either she win or she lose. If she win, now she learned about this enemy, and she learned how to fight him better, because already she fought him already. She have an experience with him. But she cannot create a new mechanism unless you get involved and you give medicine and etc. and you to support the fight, like giving an emission to someone he is out of an emission. So why the cells are not able to improve themselves in health aspect? Still people, they have diseases, the same diseases. Cancer is killing some places 2 of every 5, imagine, which means 5 of us here, 2 of us, we might have cancer. Do you see how horrible the situation is with cancer? So why a human being is not improving himself after all those millions of years they claim in Darwinism? Obviously cancer is the biggest enemy, and science cannot really trying to find a solution. Sometimes, you know, they succeed, depend in how, let us say, advance the case, as they say. But sometimes there is no way to fix it. But anyway, as long as I'm not a doctor and I am not the professor, I just went to YouTube just a minute ago. I did not watch the whole video actually, but this is a professor. His name is Michael Behe. I'm not sure if I'm saying the name correctly. And he has a PhD, and he is a professor, you know, for biochemistry at whatever university. Are you going to say to him that you are an idiot, you are stupid, you do not know, you don't have education? You see, the most time they say to somebody trying to debate them, you say to them, you do not know Arabic. You did the same. You did exactly the same. You do not know Arabic. Or you do not know biology. But my friend, this has nothing to do even with just knowing the biology. It's about simple thinking. You are just assuming, no evidence. When you say to me, we found an animal, he looked like that animal, that's different animal. What is the proof that this is the same animal? What is the proof that this is the ancestor of this animal? I mean, if you go to your yard and you look at the insect, it's scary how many insects there is. Each one of them look different. This video here, it says, so you people can, actually I have the link underneath of the video here to give them credit. This is from a website, channel, it's called TFP, Student Action, and it says, expert destroy Darwin theory in 5 minutes. Is he qualified to talk about biology? Or he is like Christian Prince? What he learned from biology is what he learned in high school. Let us see. So he is having he have a trap for a mice in his hand. And he will show you from the trap of the mice how all the theory of Darwin is a silly theory, and he is ignorant. He will show you how Darwin is ignorant.
Only is it complex, it's what I called irreducibly complex. You can't take a part away and still have it work. If you took away this hammer, you know, the mice don't get caught. Take away the spring or the holding bar, any of the pieces, it doesn't work. Now the problem for Darwin's theory is that, number one, the molecular foundation of life is run by machines. The cell is run by actual machines made out of molecules. People find that fantastic, but hey, that's the way it is. There are little machines that act like outboard motors that can propel cells along, and other machines that carry cargo from one part of a cell to another. And those machines, just like pretty much any machine, including the mousetrap, have a number of different parts performing different roles, and they're all needed for the machine to work. Darwin's theory of evolution requires that natural selection favor an organism that has a very small change that helps the organism do something better. So if we're taking that view of Darwinism, we can ask, how could something like this, something like a mousetrap, be put together one tiny step at a time? And it turns out it's surprisingly difficult. You know, if you just had the wooden platform, just the bottom, that doesn't catch mice. If you put on, say, this holding bar, you might say, well, maybe if a mouse is running along, it would trip on the platform and impale itself on the holding bar. But that's kind of just silly. So this can't be made gradually.
So, you know, this is what I said in the previous video. How the permission is going to decide to be something else in the future. And you know, the permission is still permission, nothing changed. It's very silly. But when the silly person, he is sponsored by a mafia of anti-God, and they promote his idea everywhere, in schools, in universities, everywhere. Like now, if you say Islam is wonderful, they will put you in TV. If you say Islam is peace, if you are a person who claims to be a Christian priest and say Islam is, you know, they believe in the same God we believe in, everybody will welcome you. But the second you say the truth, everybody will fight you. Have you ever heard them quoting in TV somebody saying something negative about Islam? When the last time they did? Have you ever seen Facebook sponsoring, supporting, not taking down pages? Have you ever seen YouTube, you know, here we go, I cannot take donation here. But a person who preached jihad, we can collect donation. They never take donation from them, not even, they don't even flag their videos. So was God that created Adam as Adam, and he was, or he was something else, and he improved himself? Was God that created a snake? That God was created trees? Did God create? And what are you talking about? You say I'm a Christian and I believe in such a thing. There's no proof of such. And if you change one thing, and no way a cell can decide to change. You see, cell is a program, is a little brain. And this brain does what it's programmed for. It cannot make a new decision out of the program. Very simple. It's like your computer. You have a mouse, and the mouse, this mouse, how you use it? If you click here, something will appear in your screen, and you click at the window, that window will open. In order to change this the mouse how it works, you have to reprogram the whole software. You cannot do like one step at a time. That is a joke. Especially, you know, and everybody knows that it's impossible. First, you are assuming that the cell have a brain, and that the brain make a meeting. Hey, we have a problem here. We are going to make an improvement, and this improvement is going to take 1,000,000 years. How silly, how stupid. Do you understand what I'm saying? And then here, this professor, I don't know, he's a Muslim, he's a Christian, he's an atheist, I have no idea. But this is about science, this is just pure science. He continued and saying how stupid was Darwin. He don't know even the basic of biology.
So that's a big problem for Darwin's theory, because pretty much the foundation of life. These things are all over the place. And furthermore, you can ask yourself, well, how do we recognize intelligence? And it turns out that the way that we recognize intelligence is by what I call a purposeful arrangement of parts. And that's when different parts are put up in relationship to each other, where you can see that they have a purpose. That is, the arrangement has a purpose. An easy example are letters in a word. You know, people put the letters in to form a word, words to make a sentence, and so on. And not only is this arrangement, this can't be put together gradually, but we immediately see that the arrangement of these parts has a purpose. And so we immediately grasp the intelligence that was needed to produce something like this. And again, I can't emphasize enough that Darwin didn't know anything about the foundation of life. He and his contemporaries thought that the cell was a little piece of jello, protoplasm, they'd call it. And it was mysterious, you know, did cool stuff, but they didn't know how, so they pretty much ignored it. But modern science has shown that the cell is a lot like a ultra-sophisticated nanoscale factory, far, far beyond anything that humans could produce. And
anyway, that's enough for me. So, you know, yesterday I mentioned that scientists, even the majority of them, they are against of this. The question is, how they are teaching it in every school? You know what I mean? Who is behind supporting this theory? I mean, I live in the Middle East. I grew up in the Middle East. I get my first education in the Middle East. And then I learned this in the Middle East, in the heart of Islamic countries. Who is behind sponsoring this false theory? And for a generation, everybody adopted as if it's God talking. That's it. This is true. Darwin, he found, the same as Zulqarnain, he found the sun set in murky water. And the more we learn, the more we know that this was a joke. That was a stupid. Yesterday, actually, I thought about evolution. I said to myself, can I order my cells to look like better? I mean, I woke up in the morning and I convinced myself, like, you know what, because I order my cells, like, to make me look better, you know, like, you know, so, I mean, come on, very frustrating, you know. And I don't have a mirror at home. I don't use mirrors because I don't want to get scared, you know, like something scary, you know. But I have a mirror in the car, so I went to the car and I look, and still the same. What a disappointing thing. But I've been promised that after 1 billion years, I will look better because I ordered my cells to make me improve. So, like, this is the part of the good news, you know, like, you know, we have hope, you know. And hey, ladies, females, if you, I know all of you, you would make up. Come on, don't lie about it. I mean, come on, you know, yeah, come on. So you would make up. What are you doing? Why you want to do that? Why you don't order the cells of your face to look better? Your eyes will get bigger if you want, or you make them smaller if you like, huh? Your nose, like, you can take him to the right a little bit or to the left upside, or